So the next race we got was in race number 4. We had Team North America versus Team Peru. And boy, man, Alexander had his work cut out for him.
Dude, fucking Alexander wasn't even in that match.
Which is the worst thing.
I was surprised. I was like, "Where's Alexander at?" Because they definitely needed him this match,
Right?
right?
This entire
Yeah.
time we've been saying Team Peru needs to step up because Alexander been holding it down. And the one time they needed him most, he vanished like the Avatar.
Yeah. Alexander, man. They were like, "Where are you, man?" And it's crazy because I'm not gonna lie, man. And they put in work on them against Team Peru, but
But Alexander didn't play.
that's the thing.
So we don't
And
know if the
if
score would have been closer if he played.
if I recall, I think NA actually had the smallest point margin against Peru than any other team that raced against them.
Yeah, I believe so. They only beat them by 40.
So who's to say? I don't think Alexander would have made up a 40-point difference.
No, but
But
20 points, I think so. Could we both agree
yeah,
on that?
because
Okay.
Alexander, when he raced us, uh, we like destroyed Peru. But I would be straight up lying if I said Alexander didn't put up a fight. Like literally, when USA raced them, it would be us in the front and Alexander, and the
Right
rest of
there.
Peru's in the back.
Yep.
So Peru not having Alexander against NA, it really kind of makes you wonder. Like, I wonder what the thought process was. Like, I wonder if they just felt like, if I don't know if this was, I'm just like speculating, but I wonder if it got to the point to where, they were probably just like, okay, we're not gonna make it, so let's just have people on the team that didn't have playing time, and you know, let's just have
Well,
fun.
I mean, if that was the case, y'all should have did that the very beginning, the first week, to get people to get their playing time, get their feet wet, and then okay, by that first week, you kind of see who you got to plug in here and plug in there to kind of make the best roster available, and then have everyone else sub in. I think that would have been a better
Yeah,
strategy at
but
that point.
probably, but from off rip, I mean, they got destroyed, so they were already playing behind. So if the first match you get destroyed, the second match you're gonna want to put your strongest people in to rack up some W's, and they just it they weren't getting the W, so there's not gonna be a. They're always fighting under pressure, so they're not gonna want to just give people playing time if they're trying to fight for spots.
I get that, but I mean, if they're gonna do that here in week 4, it would have been better off to do it on week 1, where you still knew you had 4 other weeks to get the best roster available put together to race up against other teams, because they were racing you guys in the first week. So if they already felt that Team
Nah,
US,
we raced NA. We raced
oh yeah,
NA
yeah, yeah, you did. The first week, I think they played. Who was it? Was it
was
was it
it Benelux?
Benelux? It might have been Benelux.
Cause Mac Europe fought UK in the first round,
Yeah,
so it had to be them.
and I'm pretty sure Alexander knows Benelux is a strong team. So if he could figure that out, I think he should have been the one to say, you know what, this is the best time to figure out who's best at what, because the rest of the weeks, there's other teams who might not be as strong as Benelux, right? So we have a better chance of taking it to them. But, didn't happen. And
Yep.
in week 4, it from what you're telling me, it might look like, and I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but it very well could have been that they're like, you know what, we're gonna put in whoever hasn't played yet, and Alexander's like, yeah, I'll take a break, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But I mean, even
possibly,
though that
man,
did
possibly.
happen, them losing by 40 and Alexander didn't play, kind of eye opening too, because just imagine if they had the best team put around Alexander for this one. Could they have possibly snuck a win here? I don't know. NA is no slouch, but I don't know. Alexander, you telling me Alexander wouldn't give you 20 more points to this total?
It's a possibility, but
Yeah, we'll never
I
know.
still think Peru would end up, or I still think, and they will end up getting the W. But
Yeah,
I feel like Alexander would have added more pressure to the match, and
yeah,
when there's pressure being added, you never know what kind of mistakes will happen. You never know what kind of things will fall out of place for NA.
yep,
So it's definitely it's definitely one of those things where you never really, really know. Because a game like Disney Speedstorm, anything could happen.
exactly. I honestly think the score could have been maybe closer to what Brazil versus France was, like
Yeah.
154, 134. If Alexander was playing, who knows? Maybe it could have been in the 140s for both teams, and NA just getting an 8 point differential on them. I don't know, man.
Hmm.
Because the fact that Alexander didn't play and they only won by 40, and this was the worst team out of Group A, like, you got to be getting your numbers on this team. Because even Spain in Group B, everyone had almost, what, 100 points on them. The only team that didn't was Team UN.
Yep.
So, like, that if you need a measuring stick to kind of gauge where you are compared to your other contemporaries in your group, these two teams in both group A and B would be that test. And you could use the differential in points to kind of tell, okay, if France beat them by 100 plus or whatever the case is, we got to beat them close to 100 plus, or that means France is the better team.
Yeah. I know. For in USA's uh case,
Yeah,
since we knew uh like Peru is one of the on like the weaker side of things. Um, what we did was we tried to put in players to get some more like playing
playing
time. So
time.
like, so the first race we went against NA the first week,
Yeah, and you brought
and
out your
then
better players.
yeah, because we checking the temperature. We don't know exactly. We want to at least start off with a W, so we're not
Yep,
at least our backs put up
against the
against the
wall
wall.
off the rip.
Yeah, so put in me, Angel, Cosmic, and Caleb.
And my
Now
and
after
myself.
that,
Don't forget me.
you are up to Canada, man. You agree? You
I'm just playing,
well,
man.
we Crusher, get your man's man. Yeah. Nah, but we at the second week. So after the first week, we're like, okay, we got UK and we got Peru.
Yep.
We just saw UK get dusted up by Europe. So
And we think we're the
there
better
is
team.
yes. So we're gonna like split it. We're gonna have two of our more efficient racers with two of our sub racers play
Yeah.
against UK. So in that week, me and one way Angel, we sat out
Yeah.
and we have uh, Polly and Pro, I believe. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I believe it was
We have
pro.
Polly and Hot Pockets.
Oh yeah,
No,
hot
it was
pockets.
Hot Pockets,
Okay.
and they ended up cleaning UK up, and because they had Caleb and Cosmic,
Yeah.
Then Peru came, and we had me, Angel, Pro, and Jackal, and we ended up getting the dub, and we cleaned Peru up. So we just wanted to get some more people, some more playing time, and that's how we decided to do it.
Hey y'all, remember Nano's been saying this because we gonna review this or revisit this for next for the next recap as well for week 5. So remember Nano's been saying they've been fluctuating between different teammates and different groups and compositions because that's going to be a key thing going into week 5's recap. Just give me y'all a heads up.
Yeah, yeah. And we weren't the only team that did it, so
Yep.
it's certain things. It's very interesting how teams decide to play based on how they approach certain teams, or whether they knew they were making it to the knockout stage and everything.
Yeah.
So I have some stuff to say about that, but it really won't go into effect until probably about round 2 of the knockout stage.
Okay. I'll
So
be looking
you
forward
will
to
see,
that.
man. So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about this matchup?
I mean, nah, the better team won as they should,
Yeah.
which is NA. I believe at this point, this gave North America what their first win, second win.
Mm,
Yep, this was their second win.
yeah. Because in week 5 they play Europe, I think.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, this was like we said, this was the week that UK needed that dub if they wanted to qualify because North America already had one to their name. So if they still wanted a chance in this tournament, they knew they had to beat Benelux, but they didn't. But it was still a close one. So you knew that they were putting in all they had for that race.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Most definitely.
this was this was still a pretty respectable match to say the least. So I want to give Peru their flowers because they still tried, put in their best, even though their best was not playing.
Hmm. Most definitely, man. And they still have one more race, but they're basically not
Disqualified
gonna make the
just
knockout
because
round.
they don't have
Yeah,
enough points to make it through.
pretty much. But I, I think I'd like to assume that they've learned a lot in this
Oh, most
tournament,
definitely.
and they try to take everything and even learn what they can for their last match. So
Yep.
you know, it's still a chance that, there's definitely going to be more tournaments in the future. We don't know how much stronger these players could be when that time comes.
But for the next race, the fifth race we have here, we have none other than my team, Team USA, versus Team.
I don't think Canada gonna like that, bro.
All right. If you can't tell, I'm the ultimate cheerleader for Team USA just because my guy here, my co-host Nano, is racing for Team USA. So I show my neighbors down south some love
Yes,
because
sir. Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean.
Appreciate that.
Like I said, I tipped them off to the lobby situation. So why wouldn't I cheer them on?
For sure, man. Feelings mutual, man. I always wish the best for Team Canada, man. And I root for you guys to win all your matches.
Yes, sir. But I'm gonna be real here. Let me stop the glazing. Pause. We got Nano's team here, Team USA versus Europe, and this one, ooh, this was a nail biter. Honestly, I don't know who was gonna win this one. Tell me your thoughts on this because I believe you were playing in this race, right?
I was, man. I
Okay.
was.
Yeah. This wasn't the one where you had work. I think that was the previous week.
Hmm.
Yeah. So tell me your
Now
thoughts on this one.
the previous week I had I was able to play
Okay.
because we went against Peru, but against Europe, um, yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, us. So the preparation for this team was crazy, bro.
I
When
know.
I
Leading up to this, you were telling me you guys are doing 4-hour practices, man.
shit, 4 hours, man. The so funny story. So when it came to Team Europe,
Yep.
we ended up practicing, or not even practicing. So what our team likes to do is once the map the matches get announced or like the stages, we start like practicing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, when it came to Europe, we were already practicing ahead of schedule. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, not only that, but this is where like the news. This is the week where like the news about Duff happened. So we actually got an extra week
Yes,
because
sir.
the matches were like postponed
Exactly.
for a week. So our team already started practicing during the week we had off.
Yeah.
So we're already getting prepared because we know how strong Europe is.
Yep.
Uh, Especially they have players like Maxi and Sothralis and Romanja and stuff, and they've been going crazy. So our team knows we have to be in tip top shape. Now, when I think about like a week later, like I kid you not, I don't think we got the bands until like Friday, bro. Like Friday, either Friday or Saturday, and the match was on Sunday. So when they hit us with the late bans, and I don't think they did this on purpose because I think they're probably like busy and stuff, and it's sometimes teams it takes them a little bit longer to get things situated.
Yeah.
So they went against the when they went against us, it's we didn't get the bans till like really late. So when they put in their bans, they ended up banning at least like four characters we planned on using. So we had to swap up a lot of stuff
Yeah.
like last minute. And because of that, on Saturday, the day before the match, we literally practiced for 5 hours.
Damn.
Like no kidding. And we changed a lot of stuff around, tested a lot of different stuff out.
Yep.
And we actually, there's one thing we ended up changing that helped us get the W.
What was that?
Yeah. And so what we ended up doing is we ended up swapping Meg and Oswald. So originally we were gonna. So I was playing Trickster.
Yeah.
Originally I was going to play on when they got to Candy Kingdom, which was the last map.
Yeah.
I was going to play Meg on that map,
Yeah.
but we decided, or I decided that I wanted to try out. Um,
Oswald.
I wanted to try out Oswald just to see what the results would be, so we could
Was
use Meg on a
what
different
was
map.
that because Oswald has the auto drive
Yes,
and he could just loop
that is the main
around
reason
the
why.
cherry bombs?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And um, because of that,
Yeah.
we would practice, and when I wanted to do that, we ended up every time we'd go on that map, I would use Oswald, and I would win every single match with
Mm,
Oswald. And the idea was that they when I got on that map, at least the way that I was playing him to get the most use out of him for that match,
yeah,
is I would only use if I got his unique, I
yeah,
wouldn't use no matter where I got it on the map, I would keep that unique the whole time. Like I wouldn't use any other item. So basically there were laps where I was just playing or racing without using items.
yeah.
I was just depending on my skill as a racer to maneuver throughout the map and the chaos. And once I got to the spiral part by the finish line,
Yeah,
I'd use his unique. And every time I do it, I would jump from like whatever position I was in to
the
first
first place.
place.
Yeah, I
And it
figured.
was consistent. And I got some finesse with the Oswald, man, with the helicopter bunny.
I'm telling you,
So
if I was on Trickster, I would have implemented the same thing just because I know one, you're invulnerable, and two, on that turn, if you're able to make a sharp turn like that, ain't nobody touching you. Even if they're nice with a Trickster that can drift. Like, it don't matter
Mhm.
if you're using Anna there and she got her shields up. That auto with Oswald, that's too nice to pass up. It's like using Aladdin's auto.
It is. It is. And what's so funny? But so throughout the race, right?
Yeah,
Oh, and not and this is just because this is important, so I have to mention it.
yeah.
We were practicing to race against for Maxi to be in the race,
Okay.
but Maxi actually wasn't in the race. I don't know. Apparently, Caleb asked why he wasn't in the race, but I think he said something about like he wasn't playing Speedstorm at the time, or I think basically he was in a position to where he just wasn't playing the game,
Yeah.
and his team already qualified, so he wasn't like pressed to play.
Okay.
So you
He
know,
was just saving himself pretty much.
yes, pretty much. So, and I can understand that.
Yeah,
Probably get somebody else some more playing time. You guys already
definitely.
qualified and stuff like that. Um, but there is a chance that it can bite them in the butt. But I will say that I will save that for when the time comes, if the time comes.
Yep.
But yeah, man, this so yeah, Maxi didn't race, and me and my team, we kind of talked about the case if Maxi doesn't play. Like I don't know why, but like we kind of put in like we kind of like was thinking about okay, what if Maxi doesn't play? Like just in case. Like we assumed he was gonna play, but we were like saying like, yo, what if he doesn't play? And honestly, like my team,
Prepared.
we were confident that if he didn't play, we would win if they didn't have Maxi. Um, but the thing is, that's not like to downplay Europe because Europe is a strong team. Like even without Maxi, Europe is still one of the strongest teams in the tournament.
Yep.
Like Europe is a top 3 team without Maxi. So with him, it's a they're like arguably like you could argue they're the best team,
That's
or
true.
they're still one of the best teams. But when they didn't have Maxi, we saw that. We was like, okay, it's go time. They they don't have Maxi. We're looking at the line. We're like, man, where Maxi at, man? But he didn't end up playing. So um, so when we start like the race, I'm gonna be honest, the races were going like really good for us, but they weren't like they were putting up a fight. Like
Yeah.
we got off to like a good game, and I think for like the first, literally like majority of the races, we ended up getting like we had like a 10-point lead or something like that. Like we
Yeah.
were in like a pretty nice spot, but not in a spot to where like we could like let off the gas. But there was one particular race, I think this is race number 6, where we were on factory and like everything just like went like really bad. Like they ended up sweeping us,
Damn.
and because of that, it ended up like swinging the points into their favor, and we were Team USA was down, and you know with only 2 more races left, we were in a very
Bad spot.
uh yeah, we were definitely in a bad spot. So what ended up happening that race is, and I rewatched the VOD just so I could like make sure.
Yep.
So when that race on Factory, we had Angel on Baloo, right?
Yes.
And he was in first place. But when he was in first place, he, I guess he thought one of us was next to him,
Yeah.
but it was mainly the enemy team. And he ended up using the like his like the fruits that gives Baloo boost,
Yeah.
and he thought one of us was next to him, so we could share the fruit and create distance. But it was one of the enemy teams, and
Yeah.
as soon as he uses the fruit, he gets stunned, and the whole enemy team ends up taking all of the fruit, and they create a huge
Yeah.
gap
Damn.
and start throwing everything behind and hitting us and everything like that. Mind you, Caleb is on Triton and he's in the back, and you
Uh,
already know how that goes.
that's a nightmare, man.
Yeah, so literally you have your team, you have your team, the you have Baloo in the back. Whenever, and mind you, Angel's on Baloo and he's like in the back.
Yep.
That means when he gets his unique, he's either throwing bananas behind that's gonna hit us,
Or throwing
or
fruit ahead
fruits in the front, which
that's
is gonna
helping
help
them.
the enemy team.
Exactly.
We got Caleb using Triton
In the
and
back.
in the back. So he the waves, in order for him to get boost, he has
Has
to
to
hit
hit.
us.
Exactly. So he can't even
So he's
use his
trying to
unique.
he's avoiding that, and he's just using a tap.
Yep.
But I actually got hit by his tap, and I'm using Randall, and I need screams. So,
Yep.
granted, I can get screams off of my teams, but it just because of how discombobulated we were in that race, I wasn't able to get the screams off like I wanted,
Yeah.
and it kind of like really put everything into perspective. Like, okay, like even though without Maxi, this team is
It's
really trying to
strong.
take us out right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like hyping our, we had to hype ourselves back up because we couldn't let that one match dictate how we would play for the rest of the matches. So, all right, we still got 2 more races. We can still win this. Let's make something happen.
Most definitely.
In this, in the 7th game, it was a wash, bro. Like they so when they got the sweep on us, they ended up completely taking away the deficit that we had,
Yeah.
and they ended up getting a 6-point swing on us. So we were separated by 6 points.
Yeah.
And this in game 7, it was a wash. We it was just an even game, so they still ended up having 6 points on us, which is not good for us.
Nope.
So the last race is Candy Kingdom, and literally Kayla's like, "Hey, this is the one, man. Got the Nano's the secret weapon. This is what we were practicing. Like shit, like this is why we practice so much."
Yeah.
So I end up picking Oswald, and I'm not gonna lie, man. That match went damn near perfect for us because we all got off to a great start,
Mhm.
and like I said, even I actually ended up falling off in one of the earlier laps on that map. Like I literally fell off and
Yeah.
and got respawned. But because of how strong Oswald's ability is on that map, that shit didn't matter. So, every time I get my unique, I'm just holding it. And I think like Angel and like Sothralis, they're like fighting for like the first place positions, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but the enemy we just ended up like my team is like they're like they have like the throughout the race they had like the top spots,
Yeah.
and it's like it was basically like us versus Sothralis. So Caleb is on Jafar this map, and something ends up happening where he ends up like getting in the kind of like with the enemy team in the back,
Yeah.
but he's gatekeeping them with Jafar
Yeah,
because Jafar
cause
has a lot of
the
stun
flame,
potential.
that and
Yeah,
because the track's
that.
narrow, Jafar has
Yep,
a lot of reach where he can stun anybody who tries to pass him.
he does. Like literally every item he gets is like mad annoying, and he gets cloak.
Yep.
So like, and he has this, so they can't get away from him.
Exactly.
So he's just like being a menace to them. And I end up passing everybody on the spiral. So I'm like in like I'm like in third place. So it's like me, Cosmic is on Kermit.
Yeah.
It's me, Cosmic, Angel, and Sothralis. Sothralis is uh on Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And mind you, Sothralis has been like giving our team a run for our money because he's been performing great with the defenders. And he he ended up him and Angel were going back and forth. I think by the end of the tournament they were literally separated by 2 points, with Sothralis having 2 points more than Angel.
Damn.
And that race is funny because they went Meg in that race.
And that was your choice early on.
It was, but because of the 5 hour practice session, I ended up swapping that to
Oswald.
Oswald. Because originally I was gonna use Oswald on Castle,
Yep.
but the way we had it is we were gonna use protection characters and run a Jesse for the blocks.
Mm.
And
That's
we
good.
practiced it with Oswald, but the blocks were so they were impeding me when I was using Oswald on that map. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me try Meg, and Meg worked perfectly with it. So, you know, I did the perfect swap and had Meg on Castle and Oswald on Candy. And literally throughout the whole race, I think on the Candy map,
Yeah.
when we had the top four of the top five positions, we said, yo, like, this is it. Like, if we could hold these spots, we win. And literally, we started making like a gap between the other team. And once we got to the last lap, I got my unique again. And Caleb's like, yo, Nano, you got the secret weapon? I'm like, I got it, man, I got it. And Caleb ends up catching up, and he ends up stunning Sothralis. So it kind of makes us all catch up to Sothralis. And once
Yeah.
we got to the spiral part, I used my unique and ended up passing Sothralis and getting the first place. And we ended up getting the dub because Sothralis got second. And Caleb, Angel, and Cosmic ended up getting 3, 4, and 5, and we got a near sweep, which got us the victory.
Damn.
Yeah, man,
I
shit
know
was
that was
crazy,
hurting
bro.
them.
Yeah, but I talked to Marco after that match. I think like the day after,
Yeah.
and we were talking about it. And he said that they were happy how they performed without Maxi against a team like USA,
Of
which I
course they would
commended
be.
them because they were strong, like they were in it.
If
So
I was them,
it's
I'd feel the same way too. The best player in the
yeah,
game, not even
man.
playing for us today, and we keeping it close with USA, probably the second best team.
It definitely. I already knew Europe was that strong. Like even though I was confident we were gonna win if
Yep.
they didn't have Maxi, I still knew it was gonna be a dogfight,
Oh, it
and
was.
that's exactly what it was. So,
This was
it's
at the time the closest match in the entire tournament, with the score being 146, 142 in favor of USA. So you're not wrong about that.
what's so crazy, bro? When me and Marco talked about the match, you know what he said, bro? He said, "Man, we were thinking of banning Oswald, man." But we banned Ursula instead.
That came back to haunt
And
them, man.
it did because both times when I picked Oswald, I got first place.
Damn.
So and they didn't even use he also said he was thinking about using Oswald on Candy Kingdom, but he went Meg instead.
Yep. He had the same idea as you, but you switched at the last second. He stayed with that same pick.
Yep. And it really goes to show like how like just certain decisions could really swing matches.
Almost
And
definitely.
he was saying how Caleb was holding them back with the Jafar, like Caleb made it tough for them. And it's once they were in the back, it was hard for them to catch up. So it was that was probably like our favorite win so far.
It's gotta be. It honestly, the way you explain it got me on edge. And just like when I was watching it myself. So
Hmm.
definitely a nail biter this one was.
Yeah, that race, their defender outscored our defender by 2. They outscored our speedster by 2, but me and Caleb outscored their trickster and brawler by 4, and that ended up getting us the win.
I guess you can kind of say you were the MVP of this turn this week's race, just because had you not had the Oswald pick, this could have been a lot different.
Yeah, but I'd like to say that my team definitely played a part because without them in our practice sessions, I would have never found out how effective he was on that man.
That's also true.
And that's why I keep stressing how important practice is. Like if your team's not practicing, you don't find out information like this.
Exactly.
So, you know, definitely gotta keep that in mind, man. So, but overall, Europe definitely still a dangerous team and
Oh
definitely
yeah.
capable of still winning the whole thing. So it's even though we got the W, they didn't have Maxi,
He went on
and we
vacation.
can. I don't know what happened, but we there's a chance we could run into them in the knockout stage. So we have to be prepared for that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they might come back for revenge, man. But
All the
I mean
teams that gave
that's
them
all
an
I have.
L.
Nah, it's I think it's definitely possible that they could. They're more than capable of making it back to us. So we'll see, man. But I mean, is there? I pretty much said everything I wanted to say about the match. But I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say about it.
No, man. I'm pretty much piggyback off of everything you said. Like both teams knew what the stakes were. One team didn't have the best player in the game playing, but they still were confident enough they could get the W on you guys. You guys didn't care if he was playing or not. You guys were prepared regardless. And ultimately, it showed, especially when you guys put in that 5 hour practice just ahead of you guys' game. You guys were able to figure out a trade secret for your match. And it so happened that it pulled through for you guys. So in the end, it went down the way it should have, I guess, with you guys getting on top with the 4 point differential.
Yep.
So can't argue
So
with that. I believe the better team won this week.
yeah, it was a pretty exciting match, man. But it's I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel sorry for other teams that got to race here because that shit was not easy, bro. They definitely put the pressure on us.
I believe it. So for the final race of this week, race 6, we had Team Belgium versus Team Canada. So at this point, going into this race, Belgium only had one win to their name, and my team, Team Canada, had taken our first loss to Team Brazil last week. So we already had 2 wins, and we were looking to capitalize on getting our third win before we had to face Team France in the last week of the group stage. Because, as me and Nano had discussed this in the last recap, if for whatever reason Brazil lost to France, and in week 5 we were able to beat France, it put us all at a tie, which would pretty much be 4-1. That's how
Hmm.
I was trying to have the results end up be. But, you know, it just so happened that Brazil spoiled my plans and beat France as well. So none of that even mattered at that point. So our main goal was just to get the win anyways. And boy, did Belgium make us work. Jeez. I want to say
Yeah.
the very first race, we knew it was in a tough one just because this race, I believe Belgium almost swept us, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you
And
remember exactly when that happened?
yeah, race 1
Damn, the first out the gate.
out the
Damn, so
gate.
I'm assuming that shit probably put you guys on notice real fast.
Yup, out the gate. We almost got swept. So we had to lock in real quick because we were already locked in for this race. But I don't even know how more locked in you can get after being locked in. But we was locked in.
It's
I was
super
telling
locked, man.
I
You
was
need
telling
like
everybody,
a master
literally,
lock that open that shit.
for real. I'm telling everybody, man, we just almost got swept. We can't let this happen again. We gotta beat Belgium because we need the dub, especially if we want to face Team USA. So we need a dub. So Crusher was like, "Yeah, we behind too much, but it's only one race." In my head, I'm like, "Nah, it's never just one race. This could be the deciding reason why we could end up losing a race series against a team." So the second race now, we win, but it's a slight win. It's not enough to recover the points that we had already lost from the first race.
Hmm.
The third race now goes in the same fashion as the first race. And I'm like, nah, bro, we can't keep going back and forth. And when it's our turn to come back and get on the scoreboard, we're not getting enough points to clear or even bring back the differential to our side. So race 4, at this point, we were all preparing to get one good last race before we make the swap. And we start hosting because Belgium was hosting at this point. And in this race, we didn't get the points as expected, but we ended solid enough for where we weren't too far behind based on our positioning in that race. So really, we was banking on performing out of our minds in the last 4 races. And this one, if you thought the last race was close, this one made that look like child's play. Literally, right off of race 5, we was going bananas. We made sure we came out on top, and we did. Problem was, Belgium wasn't gone. They came back for race 6, and then they were slightly up. And then we was looking at the scoreboard and saying, well, golly, we're down like what? Almost, I want to say 16 points, something like that. And I'm trying to think, how are we going to get back? Like 16 points, you're probably going to need like 2 sweeps at least just to clear the team in a safe enough position for you to get the win.
Yep.
Race 7. Oh my gosh. Race 7 happens and I'm sweating. My palms are sweating. The controller is like wet. Like, I'm trying to tell you the environment I was in. And I'm just locked in, like super focused, like laser focused. I'm making sure I'm getting all the call outs out. Like leading up to this point, our call outs were not the best. And it was this point in the tournament that I was fumbling a couple of races only because one, I was getting friendly fired on, or two, the minute I got stunned once, I was getting stunned for the rest of the game and there was nothing I could do about it. So at this point, I'm having a bad game leading up to the last 4 races. So I'm really like, if I can step up my play here, the last 4 races, we have a chance to win. So when I mean I was laser focused, nothing was getting past me. Not even Crusher. You know what I mean? So I was
Hey,
on
it be
top of
like that
everything.
sometimes.
I was letting
Yeah.
everyone know when specials were coming after them before they would even hit me. I was telling Reach, hey, watch your back, man. You know, you got cans right behind you. Watch your back, watch your back. I'm letting Matt know, hey man, you in the back right now. You last place. I'm about to stun someone. Make sure you get out ahead. I'm directing everybody that's near me on my team so they know when they can make a move or when they should be in defense mode because someone's about to come for them. I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to make sure our team gets in the higher positions at the end of the race so we can finish out ahead. This race, we get the slight edge. And at this point, it puts us, I want to say, because at first we thought we had tied, but based on the positioning, I think we had edged out team Belgium by quite a lot of points. I believe it was like 8 points, and that put us behind by like 8. And then everybody on the team was like, damn, you know what? This last race, if we don't sweep, that's it. Because an 8 point deficit in the last race, you pretty much need to sweep. Otherwise, it's over. And
Hmm.
man, Belgium was coming at us hard. Pause. They did not let us do anything we wanted. Granted, it was a tight race the entire time. And The only thing on our mind was we got to sweep. We didn't care about nothing else. We were playing the hardest race of our lives in this tournament. Granted, we played against Brazil. We didn't play this hard. We played harder against Team Belgium than we did Brazil. Take that in. And the
Yep.
results showed at the end of the race because when I mean we needed a sweep to win, I swear to God, that was the only thing that was gonna save us because the last the last race we had positions 1, 2, and 3 in the top 4. And then we had 5th place. And you would think that's enough points to get you to win. No, that was only enough points to be behind Belgium at the end, 145 to 143. So we didn't need the sweep to beat them. We needed the sweep to tie them. So
Yeah.
that just goes to show that I was correct in saying, hey man, that first race where we took that L like that, it mattered because had we been locked in the way we were the last 4 races, for the first 4 races, I'm pretty sure we take it from Belgium.
Yeah.
But
Pretty much.
as I was saying to you off camera, off recording, a lot of that also has to do with our team not taking practice as serious as other teams. You know,
Yeah. That plays a big factor.
we started off strong with our practices in the very first 2 weeks. Us having a 2 week break, and I mean 2 week break because we hardly practiced in that time from when we had the break because of the Duff Memorial, really hurt
Hmm.
us because right after that we had, I believe, Team Brazil, and
Okay.
they smoked us. And it's not like we had enough practice to get our senses sharp enough. So then when we played Belgium, we beat them because in our
Hmm.
minds, we're probably looking at ourselves as the third best team in our group. So we should clear Belgium, no problem. But no, it was a problem because Belgium ended up getting the dub on us, even if it was by 2 points. But the fact that they beat us by 2 points means that, yes, we were probably the better team, but we didn't do enough for us to get that dub from Belgium. Belgium knew what
Yeah,
time it
man.
was. Belgium knew the stakes. Belgium knew that United Nations had a dub and they were a threat for them not placing in the knockout stages if they didn't beat us. And Belgium knew, 'cause I told you this last week, I knew and Belgium knew that as long as they beat us, they would make it to the knockout stages because in terms of point differential, Belgium was higher than us by like 30 points.
Yep. So that was like a must win for them.
Exactly, because I'm not sure who Belgium had for week 5, but Belgium know who we had for week 5. And they're probably telling themselves, well, as long as we get the dub on Canada, what are the odds of them beating France in their last week's
Hmm.
matchup for the group stage? So if we can beat Canada, we're locked in. But if we lose here, it gives United Nations a chance to knock us out of the group stage. So Belgium was not having that. They knew what time it was, and that week the better team won. I want to say practice played a large part to that. The 2 week time where we didn't have a race played a large part of that. And results showed. In this
I'm not
week,
gonna lie, bro.
yeah, go ahead.
I think the simple fact that you guys are playing against a monster like Manji, like your team should have wanted to practice more. Cause
Hey
I'm
man,
not gonna lie, man. Manji was putting a lot of pressure on even Crusher.
yes, he was. And I
Cause I
said this
believe they were
before
both
we
the
even raced.
defenders.
I said this before we even raced Belgium. Manji is the one player we got to look out out for it in our next week because he's the best player on that team, and so far in this tournament, he's been holding Belgium together. And every time
Mhm.
me and you have covered the recaps, we've been saying, man, if Belgium didn't have Manji, where would they be? And
Yep.
for Belgium to finally run into us and they end up getting the dub when we on paper should have been the better team based on our results and how we played the stronger teams, it was just really kind of, well, my feelings, I don't know how everyone else felt, but from myself, how I felt, I was disgusted. I had like a sour taste in my mouth all week after that defeat. One, I already took the L
Uh,
from Brazil, and I was feeling a way about that. I did not like that L. I wanted that re up so bad. So I was like, you know what?
mhm.
We'll see them in the knockout stage, hopefully. But then, two, we come now. I'm thinking we the better team. We're all thinking we're the better team. And then we lose to Belgium. Now they're starting to feel
Yeah.
how I felt when we lost against Brazil. But now me, I'm not thinking like that no more. I'm feeling even worse. I'm like, bruh, there is no way we're going back to back with L's. What's going on here? You know what I mean? Like I'm upset. Like I'm not even upset. I'm pissed. I'm I'm going in the lab. I'm going against the bots. You know what I mean? Like I'm already
You putting
preparing
in the work,
myself.
man.
Exactly. I'm already preparing myself for France. Well, that was the last race we had, guys. And tune in for next week where we got the recap for week 5. Well, I would even say next week, sometime this week, because I'll have that out for you guys as well. Next week you'll have the knockout stage recaps. So tune in for that. And appreciate you guys all tuning in. And thank you guys for helping us reach 100 subscribers for the channel. And like I said, shout out to Base Knot 93 for helping us get there. More importantly, our co-host here, Nano. Like he disclosed earlier in the video, we started off at 69 before the World Cup even started. And now 31 subscribers later, we're at 100. So that's due in part to our friend Nano. So
Yes, sir, man.
gotta
Hey,
give
man.
him the
Like I
love.
always say, man. I appreciate you for having in this collab, man. And you know, I think you know, why stop at 100, man? It's a lot more. We got a lot more stuff to work on even after the World Cup, man. We got some things in the works, so uh, I'm looking forward to it, man, for the future.
I thought I told you that. We don't stop. I thought I told you that. We don't stop. No Diddy. I will definitely. I'm not stopping at 100. I'm trying to go as far as this thing could take me. You know, as long as I
For
got you
sure,
guys
man, for
supporting
sure.
me and tuning in, I'm definitely gonna be around.
Yes,
But
sir.
do you have anything you'd like to add?
All right, man. Tune in for week 5, man. The action don't stop here,
Nope.
so let's get it.
All right. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.